What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing very well today. My name is Max. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Max. Hope you have a mug in front of you also. Man, it's been a really busy week this week. I've been doing a little bit too much. I have a day off yesterday, a little bit of time today. It's like all the gigs in the world this year disappeared all year because they were going to happen this week. That's what it feels like. So I'm glad to have a little bit of a break. How's your week? No. Yeah, I know. Those leprechauns, man. Seriously. Tell you what. Anyway, today I had a couple things I wanted to talk about. There's always so many music topics. By the way, if you ever have anything that you want me to talk about, or if you have a question or you want to start a conversation, just leave a comment below and say, hey, Max, what do you think about this? Or, Max, I think you're wrong about this. Like, I always want to create conversation. So, anytime. I think I want to talk about serving the song. This is a topic that's really, really near and dear to me. It's what I base my business, career, life on because all I do is music. And I think it's something that gets looked over a lot of the time, especially if you are collaborating with somebody or writing or playing for a piece of music. It can get looked over, but it's so important, so important. So let's talk about what that means to me first and see if you agree. To serve the song or to serve the music means that every decision that you make surrounding the performance, the recording, the arranging, the composition, the mood, the feeling of the song, every decision is to make the song better. Even if you don't like it, even if your collaborator doesn't like it, the goal is to let the song itself, the music itself, dictate what needs to happen and allow the people working on it to become almost these channels or translators of, oh, this needs to happen. Let me voice that the best way I can. So it's something that Quincy Jones has talked about a little bit. I've read a couple of books about him. One of them is his producing book, Q on Producing, I think it's called. And another one is his autobiography. And he talks about that a lot, where the way he phrases it is music like comes from the heavens and we're just here to be kind of beacons or channels for that. And we don't really have a say in what the melody is supposed to be. And he kind of believes that we don't actually really write melodies all the time. Sometimes it's something else coming down, a muse or what have you. So I am with him on that. And I also think that you have to also be conscious about the decisions that you're making. So, an example, I've had all kinds of experiences producing music for clients or collaborating with people, and every time it's different. So, on one end of the spectrum, you get in a room with 3 or 4 or 5 people, and music is happening in one way or another. Let's say we're recording, and one person says, well, what if we tried this? And people look and like, oh, like, yeah, maybe. Okay, let's see what it sounds like. And so maybe we record it just to see what it would sound like, play it back, and the general mood after listening back is, it's not working for whatever reason. Maybe it's too drastic or whatever. And 2 things can happen then. One thing is that person, after hearing the response from everybody, which is, I don't think it's working, can get offended. And they'll say, well, you guys haven't been listening to my ideas this whole time. And what's happening is they're actually saying, maybe I'm not competent. Maybe I don't have any good ideas. And that's where it gets super messy, because now the band needs to, if they decide, give this person some leeway and let their ideas through even though they might not be good ideas, even though they don't serve the music, serve the song. Okay, that's one way. Second thing that can happen is, they contribute their idea, and they listen, and it doesn't sound good, and they say, oh, I think it's not working, and you move on. You say, okay, like, that's fine. I just thought we should try it, and you should always try. You should always listen. So as long as you're always collaborating and actually listening to everybody's ideas, you're going to have a good time. You're going to make a good piece of music. When you get 5 different people's egos and ideas and self-insecurities and all these things happening all at the same time, it's never a good mix for success. So that's one end of the spectrum. I had a production session this week down at the Blasting Room in Fort Collins. Awesome studio, so cool. They've done oh my God, Rage Against the Machine, NoFX, like all these really, really good bands, like platinum records, gold, all this stuff. It's awesome. And our engineer is just fantastic. He's really, really good editor, really, really warm, bright person. And it was a great session. And the reason is everybody in their contributions was listening to the song and didn't care about themselves. It should never ever be a thing where you're listening to the songs, oh, what could we change about it? Like what could work? No, it's what does it need to be the best thing that it can be. And if it's there and it's done. But what in the production, what in maybe one little extra guitar part, maybe a little bass idea here, something, what would elevate the song without distracting? And that group of people, for whatever reason, just worked so well together. And I really do think that we all saw how much potential there were in these songs. And I think that we just all wanted them to be the best thing possible. So an example this week was a guitar solo. And so the main band leader, vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter wrote all the songs, has this composed guitar solo, which is awesome. I love when people write out guitar solos, by the way. I think it's beautiful. People can sing along to them. And we recorded it and we listened back, and a little side note, when you're listening to something with other people there, it sounds different. Try it. It's crazy. So you listen by yourself to mix maybe, and it sounds the way you hear it. But as soon as you add 2 or 3 or 4 people and they're also listening, I guarantee you it'll sound different. You'll hear what it sounds like to those other people. It's the weirdest thing. So anyway, we're listening back and we all kind of notice a couple little things in the solo that either needed to be cleaned up or needed to be changed so that they fit a little bit better with the harmony going underneath. And what made it work so well, what made it successful, is that guitarist who had donated, years of his life working on this music, hours and hours and hours writing that solo, allowed it to change. And that is so hard. Imagine that. Like, it's literally like you sculpted something for years and years and years, and it's so perfect and beautiful, and you've lived with it for a really long time, and you finish it and it's ready to be presented, and somebody says, can you switch that? I think it would look better. And you can take offense to that, or you can say, yes, like that would look better. I see what you're saying, because you have an outside perspective that's unique and something I would never have thought of. So, wrapping all of that up, because again, this is such a big topic. I could talk about this for a very long time. Always make sure that when you are contributing or rejecting ideas, that the only reason you're doing it is because you don't think that it would serve the song. And make sure that everything you do serves the music, serves the song, and is actually beneficial in some way. Don't add something just because you haven't had any ideas that day. If it's there, it's there. That's the other thing. So, and it was really cool to work with these people, and long session the other day. What was it, Tuesday? And it's just awesome. Like, did the whole thing, and we finished and we listened back, and we actually did something really good today. Like, we took these songs and we brought them somewhere they deserve to be. And so you'll have a really good feeling, and everybody will be really happy with that. So thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great Saturday so far, drinking tons and tons of coffee, and you enjoy. Thanks.